Okay, let me share with you our journey of personalisation in the last 2 years in action on hearing loss. We're going to be sharing our magic moments, changes in personnel that might have affected our progress and strategy, and some of the glitches that we've had. And we're going to start back in 2009, and we then trained all of our care and support services in person-centred tools, the McIntyre tools. And I came in November 2010 and the new Director of Care and Support at that time, and we were given the direction that we needed to make sure we had an organisational-wide personalisation strategy, because at that time it was really just sitting quite narrowly within care and support. So we set up a programme board, a cross-organisational group with 6 different work streams, and that harnessed the energy for the first time in a real programmatic way to get everyone owning a sense of enthusiasm that we needed for personalisation. We're moving into the latter part of 2010, and at that time we've just completed a piece of work with London South Bank University and the Knowledge Transfer Partnership and RNIB, developing an outcomes tool. And this was work that was really academic at the time, a theoretical model that could be applied. We took that on board and really wanted to embed it and take it from being an academic piece of work to making sure that we could evidence the impact and the outcomes of our significant work. So the programme board really fought, I think, to get resources to sustain and embed that outcomes tool, and for us that was a real magic moment. So that meant through January 2011 all the way through to 2012 we had resources to really capture and evidence our outcomes in care and support services, and align that with our service quality tool that we had, and also implement it an IT system that would support the capture of that outcomes data. We had our work streams all had action plans, whether that be estates or workforce or our finance and business processes, and we then had a number of action plans, and we looked at that time at marketing. We didn't have specific marketing resources in care and support or in the organisation. That time we were working towards changing our name as a charity from RNID to Action on Hearing Loss, and therefore there was a lot of focus on our new brand and actually launching that in our centenary year. So marketing of care and support took a back seat because we needed to make sure that we had sound service quality and outcomes work in place before we started to actually actively market what we did. So our learning there was we didn't have the resource at the time really, and we wanted to focus on our core quality and outcomes and making progress across the organisation in personalisation. We narrowed down the work streams. The organisation wasn't used to working in a programmatic way, and we had a lot of actions within the work streams, made some really good progress, but then we narrowed down so that each work stream had a clear focus, and we learned that we needed to do that. We began to embed our outcomes work in 2011 and 12, and we made a DVD to all staff in Action on Hearing Loss so they could understand what our care and support services teams were doing, but also how did they need to work differently and what changes could they make to support us in our work on personalisation. So whether that was our workforce in terms of achieving zero-based hour contracts was one of the objectives for us, whether it was about personalised recruitment, which we've now achieved later on in 2012, or whether it's our finance systems and how we need to personalise our invoices and gear the systems and processes up to that. We had some personnel changes at that time in the senior finance team, and so our progress around finance processes was a little bit hampered and delayed, but we soon picked that back up and had some momentum behind it, so we got back on track. Throughout our journey in the 2 years, we've always had person-centred champions and reinvigorated those to make sure that they are in the front line, are really championing the approaches and the tools that we could use, and working alongside our outcomes work in trying to embed right across all of our care and support services, whether that be residential, supported housing or community outreach services. We forged a new relationship with Helen Sanderson Associates and are really proud to have delivered the mini book for deaf people, and also beginning to blog And this time now, we're moving into 2002, the summer of, we began stepping up the pace in terms of care and support workshops, launching our outcomes tool in August 2002, something that we could really evidence was happening. We had a new Chief Executive Officer for the whole of the charity in August, and making sure that the whole of the senior team were on board with personalisation. At this point, in autumn 2012, we got trustee board approval for making it real and backing from them to work on that. We began to have our blogs with Helen Sanderson and Associates, linked to the launch of our BSL mini book and began to have more case studies and stories that could show the powerful impact on individuals' lives on our website. We carried on with our person-centred champions and with key priorities in different workshops with care and support services across the UK. And we had some successes around our workforce. Our recruitment and flexible contracts were all in place. And the autumn of 2012, we now have our draft marketing plan, because we have something we feel is that we're very proud to be able to publicise to people outside, and also be able to look at people's personal experience and knowledge of our services to share that with others. And we have now got 12 services kite marked as at January 2013 for the Making It Real pilot, and we're intending to roll that out across all of our care and support services. And really getting the whole organisation at senior level, the senior changes in our executive group. In the charity now we have biomedical research, we have national campaigning and influencing. We also have commercial services, and we felt it important that we share the ethos of personalisation at senior team level. And we've all been working on our personal profiles, and most of the executive group have personal profiles because they can see how they can use them within the senior team to share and understand people's needs and preferences and ways of working. And we're hoping to build on that from a broader organisational perspective. Throughout the process, we did conduct a progress for provider review, not just within care and support, but right across the organisation. And late last year, we picked out the areas that we felt we really need to work on, particularly to get up to speed with our marketing approach. And here we are now in this workshop today to share that learning and to be able to reflect and move forward.